Welcome back. So the first issue I have with this 1959 Evinrude Golden Jubilee 10 horsepower motor is this lower unit. It needs to be resealed. It was leaking really bad. So I've kind of disassembled it and I've cleaned it all out. So what I'm going to do is just take it apart so you can first understand what you're going to be dealing with whenever you reseal these lower units. Super easy to do. You don't have to have a lot of mechanical experience or be mechanically inclined to do this. If you got some time and a can-do attitude, you can knock this out super quick. I would say easily under an hour. So let's just jump right in. So just a caveat, there's no lower unit oil in here. Everything's been cleaned out. If you are doing this from scratch, the first thing you're going to want to do is remove the oil out of the gear case. So you do that through these plugs right here. You can remove this one. This is where everything's going to drain out of. You need to remove this one to release the vacuum and let it all drain out. Whenever you fill it up, you're going to do that in reverse. You're going to open this up, squirt lower unit 80-90 oil in here until it starts coming out of here. Then close that up, then close that one. So when you pull it off the motor, this is what you got. This is the skeg, this is the prop shaft, this is the housing, this is the water intake plate. And then what you have up here, this is pretty much your water pump housing, this is your drive shaft, this is your shift rod linkage, this right here, this brass fitting, that is your shift rod bushing. A lot of the times, the reason you're getting water in your lower unit is underneath this brass bushing is an O-ring, and that O-ring wears out, and as you're shifting, water can get past that O-ring and into your gear case. But regardless, we're going to take this top part off first, and underneath this housing is the water impeller. So if you just want to replace your water pump, kind of your yearly or every other year maintenance, you're going to want to just take this housing off, and that'll expose your water pump. So this water pump housing is held on with 4 screws. Once you have the 4 screws off, you can just lift this up, slide it off the top, and underneath here you'll see your water pump impeller. So notice that there's a key slot right there. This is very important. If you look right down here is the water pump key. So that's what engages that slot in the water pump and spins the impeller. When you're rebuilding these lower units, make sure you do not lose this key. It's really easy to do. And when you reassemble it, do not forget this. Otherwise, you're going to get all the way to reinstalling it. You're going to go to test. You're going to go to test your motor, and it's not going to be pumping water, and it could cause it to overheat. Super important. Do not forget this. So we're going to remove the impeller key. You can see that's it right there. Put it over here. A good thing to have is like a magnetic tray. You can see I have some right there. Super handy in instances like this. Water pump, it just slides out. You can see probably need to replace this one. It's lost its elasticity. Also, you can see it's where the flat end here really needs to be replaced. Yeah, starting to crease, and this one almost shot. All right, next you're gonna have this plate right here, slides right up. Yours might be gooped up pretty nasty. Again, I cleaned everything up, slide it off the top. This part's pretty important. There's this plate right here, and Right here in the middle of this plate and going around the drive shaft is a seal. Sometimes this seal can go bad. If you do need to replace this seal, a lot of times underneath this plate is a gasket. Now what you're going to be tempted to do is to get a screwdriver in there and pry up on this in order to get it out. That is a bad idea. I have ruined many of these plates by doing that. This is pot metal. It cracks super easy. And if you try to get a screwdriver in here and pry up to get it to break it free of the gasket underneath it, you are going to break it. It's not you might break it, you will break it, absolutely guaranteed. Trust me, I've destroyed a lot of these and they're not cheap. A replacement one of these is about 50 bucks. So what I've found is the best thing to do is to get a rubber mallet and maybe an old screwdriver or something blunt, and you're going to want to put it right here and then tap it, and see how I got that to rotate. It's going to obviously take a lot more because I've already rotated this and broke it free, but once you can get it rotating and broke free, then you can slide it up and off the end of the drive shaft. There's going to be, again, I've cleaned this up, there's going to be a gasket down here, a lot of gasket material. You're going to need to peel all that stuff off, get in here and clean this off really well. Again, do not try to get in here with a screwdriver and pry up on it. You're going to want to break it free by rotating it, then you can slide it off. Once you get everything to this point, you're ready to go to flip it over and break it free from the bottom side. All right, on this end, you got 6 fasteners that secure it, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and then you have the shift rod pivot point, pivot screw, if you will, right here. You're going to want to remove all of them. It doesn't really matter which one you start with. If you want to remove that one first, that's fine. Sometimes these fasteners can be really hard to break free. What you can usually use is an impact driver. You can get those for about 10 bucks, or it used to be 10 bucks. Everything's so expensive now. At like an Autoport store like AutoZone, O'Reilly's, or Advanced Auto Parts. But basically, it's just something that you can push down on and twist while you're hitting the end with a hammer, and it'll break those fasteners free and keep you from stripping most of the time. When you go to remove the shift rod pivot screw, you unscrew it. There is a washer that comes out with it right here. Show you in a second, but that's what this is. There's a washer right there. So once you have all of that removed, you might have to take a rubber mallet or something and beat on this and break this free, because there's going to be a rubber gasket here, and it's going to have a sealant material. It's going to be kind of sticky. You're also going to have sealant material around here. It's probably going to be gooey and not clean like this. Like I said, I've cleaned everything up so I can do this relatively quickly and seamlessly. But here are your gears. The first thing you're going to want to do, so it might be hard to see, but there is a hole right here. This is where the shift pivot fastener went through right here, and this is what it pivoted about. So you can remove this now here, remove this piece here, and once you have that, you should be able to break this free. You might have to bump on this. This is really easy to move up and down now. Yours might not be, because you might have gasket and sealant material all around here, but you should be able to lift this gear assembly up and pull it out as a unit. You may have to move this up or down depending on where your shift rod is positioned, but this should remove or come out as one big assembly. You can put it off to the side for now. Now with that gone, you should be able to pull your shift rod completely out. There you go. You put it to the side, and if you look down in here, you'll have this gear, and it is connected to your drive shaft through a Woodruff key. Okay, if your Woodruff key isn't bound in there during this step, your drive shaft might slide out, so beware of that. But you can at this point pull your drive shaft out this way if you want to. But one thing you might want to do instead, this might help you, is if you just kind of grab your, just pull it out this way, and that way you get a little help in removing your drive shaft from that gear. And here's that Woodruff key right there. It might be stuck in there, but mine, I can, with my fingernail, and I got some wool in there that might help it. But this is that Woodruff key. Again, this is like the water pump impeller key. You don't want to lose it. These are like $10 or $12 for this stupid little key. So put it off to the side, and then here is one of your pinion gears. Put it off to the side. Now, for the last remaining part to be removed, you need to remove this shift rod bushing right here. Now, usually mine's kind of proud here. Yours might be recessed in a little bit, but it takes a special tool, a special OMC tool. You can see this has a tapered edge, and I'll put a link to where you can buy these off the internet. They're pretty affordable. They're not a really expensive special tool, but once you have your shift rod out, you flip it back over, then you can kind of see a hole down there, and you're going to want to slide that shift rod tool down until it slides into that bushing. Once it's down in there, you can take a rubber mallet and you can tap it out. Now, yours might take a little more love, if you will, but you should be able to pull the bushing out as well as this rubber O-ring. And you'll need to replace the rubber O-ring. You can reuse the bushing if you use this tool. Highly recommend you picking up a tool. Now let's look at this gear assembly and let's take it apart. So here's the gear assembly. This also has a seal, end cap seal. This is what keeps the water right behind your prop from getting back into the gear case. So if you're having water intrusion, this could be a potential area where you're getting water in your gear case, is this seal right here. So basically there's three main places where you can get water in. One, around the edge of this clamshell interface, or through the fasteners, that I group those two in the same interface. Two, through this seal right here. Three, through the shift rod bushing and its O-ring being leaky. And four, through this right here. This drive shaft top cap seal is what I want to call it. Anyways, put that off to the side. But okay, let's get back to removing this. So you'll have this component here, comes off this end. If you ever, take this apart and you get confused as to how it goes back, you can always go to marineengine.com, go to the Johnson Evinrude link, search, find your year, find your horsepower, and then go to the Gearcase link, and it'll have exploded parts diagrams on how these things go together, and it's super helpful if you forget how you took it apart. But anyway, here we go. Or you could just watch this video. So this part comes off this end, this part comes off here. This right here is the clutch dog. If you're having issues with you're running down the river and it's jumping out of gear, it's because these ears on the clutch dog are getting excessively worn. These are worn down here, but I don't have issues with it jumping out of gear, so it's still good. But this is the clutch dog. This is what slides. You know, if you're in one gear, it slides this way. The ears engage this gear and spin it. The drive shaft spins both of these gears at the same time, no matter what. And the drive shaft always goes in one direction. And when you shift it into neutral, these clutch dog right here, it doesn't engage either one of them. If you go into forward, it engages it, spins and engages one gear set, which in turn engages the drive shaft, or prop shaft. And when you slide the clutch dog the other way, it goes in the opposite direction, spinning the drive shaft in the opposite direction. But anyway, we remove this, take the clutch dog off. This slides off this end. Again, there's your seal. That's how you replace it. And then this slides off that direction. Now there are brass sleeves in here that sometimes come out, but these are pretty well pressed in there. They are not coming out. There's also a brass sleeve in here. I do want to note that there are washers down in here. Sometimes, like this one, comes out, okay, but this one stuck in there. Well, actually it just came out. So don't forget about those when you remove it all. Most of the time they're stuck, but you can, with a little love, get them out, and you want to clean out all that. If you're just trying to figure out how in depth this Gearcase reseal is, if you're trying to figure out, hey, do I feel like I can do it or not, hopefully this video helps you out. In the next video, I'm going to go through and reseal this whole thing. I'm going to pressure test it and hopefully show you how to do a really good job at resealing your lower unit kits. Again, if this video helped you out, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It helps the channel out, helps me out, helps me continue to generate content. And if you got any questions, make sure to hit me up in the comments section below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.